Have you ever been ghosted? Have you ever been in a situation where everything seemed to be going well, and then, out of nowhere, she disappears? No explanation, no closure, just silence. You're left hanging, questioning what went wrong. Or perhaps she's the type to fluctuate in her feelings toward you. One day, she is entirely focused on you, and the next, it is as though you do not exist. Frustrating, isn't it? Let's be real for a moment. Women can sometimes play emotional games. And if you don't recognize what's happening or learn how to handle these situations, you'll find yourself trapped in a never-ending cycle of frustration, confusion, and heartbreak. But here's the truth. While it's not your fault these games exist, it is your responsibility to outsmart them. Today, I'm going to share 10 bulletproof strategies to outsmart any woman who tries to play games with your heart. And no, this isn't about manipulation or trickery. This is about mastering yourself. Using the principles of Stoicism, you'll become the calm in the storm, the unshakable, grounded man who cannot be controlled. So buckle up, because what I'm about to share will completely transform how you approach relationships. Why do women play these games? Before diving into the strategies, let's address the big question. Why do women play these games? Why do they ghost, breadcrumb, or leave you in emotional limbo? Here's the raw truth. These behaviors are often tests. Women use these games to gauge your emotional strength. They want to see if they can control you, manipulate your emotions, and make you doubt yourself. And if they succeed, you're done. You lose. Not only will she lose respect for you, but you'll also find yourself chasing after her, desperate for validation, a position no man should ever be in. But here's the good news. You don't have to play along. Taking back control through Stoicism. Instead of being a puppet in her emotional roller coaster, you're going to take back control of your emotions and your life. Through the philosophy of Stoicism, you'll learn how to stay calm, composed, and unshaken, no matter what she throws your way. This isn't just about winning in relationships. It's about reclaiming your personal power. It's about refusing to let anyone manipulate your emotions and standing tall as a man who knows his worth. When you master your emotions, you become untouchable. Women respect this. People notice it. And most importantly, you feel it. What's next? If you're tired of being played, if you're done with the emotional games, and if you're ready to reclaim your power, these 10 Stoic strategies will be your guide. By the time we're finished, you'll have a new perspective on relationships and a newfound sense of control over your life. So, let's dive in and get started, because this isn't just about navigating relationships. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Number 1, cultivate emotional detachment. The first strategy lays the groundwork for everything else. Cultivate emotional detachment. Now let's be clear. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. You're no longer reactive, and you don't let external situations control your inner peace. Most men panic when a woman starts to pull away or acts distant. They become anxious, overthink every interaction, and try desperately to fix the situation. But here's the reality. Women often test you. They're observing how you handle pressure and whether you can maintain your composure. When you chase after her, seeking validation or trying to win her attention, you fail the test. Instead of projecting confidence, you appear needy and emotionally unstable. This is exactly what you want to avoid. The solution? Stay emotionally detached. Whether she's blowing up your phone with texts or hasn't replied in days, your emotional state remains steady. You're calm, grounded, and unaffected by her behavior. When you master emotional detachment, you exude strength, and strength is incredibly attractive. Women are drawn to men who can remain composed in any situation because it signals stability and self-control. The more you practice this, the more magnetic you become. Detachment isn't about indifference. It's about showing that your peace of mind doesn't hinge on her actions. And that, my friend, makes you irresistible. Number 2, recognize behavioral patterns. Women, like everyone else, often act in patterns, and when you start paying attention, you'll notice these behaviors more clearly. Why does this matter? Because recognizing patterns allows you to understand intent. Once you can predict the behavior, you gain control over the situation. The game becomes predictable, and predictability means you can outsmart it. Let's break it down. One of the most common patterns you'll encounter is the hot and cold dynamic. One day, she's all over you, texting non-stop, talking about how amazing you are and even hinting at plans together. Then, suddenly, silence. She becomes distant, too busy, or acts like she doesn't care. Frustrating, isn't it? This is the classic push-pull strategy. Women often use this to test whether you'll chase them. If you fall for it and start over-texting or asking, "Did I do something wrong?" or "Is everything okay?" you're playing right into her hands. Here's how you handle it. Recognize this as a test of your emotional control. She's gauging if she can provoke a reaction. Most men fail this test because they panic and chase harder. But you're different. You'll remain calm, composed, and unshaken. When you don't react to her hot and cold behavior, you flip the dynamic. Suddenly, she's the one wondering why you're not playing along. Why didn't you react? Why aren't you chasing? This shift creates intrigue, and she becomes the one pursuing you. Keep in mind that this behavior isn't always intentional. Sometimes women do this subconsciously, testing your confidence without realizing it. But whether it's deliberate or not, the solution remains the same. Stay grounded and emotionally steady. Another common pattern is breadcrumbing. This happens when she gives you just enough attention to keep you interested, but never fully commits. You might get a flirty text here and there, or she agrees to hang out sometime. But when it comes to making concrete plans, she's conveniently unavailable. Breadcrumbing is a tactic designed to keep you emotionally invested without her needing to make a real commitment. How do you handle this? Simple. Call it out, but without anger or emotional investment. Say something like, "Look, I'm not here for half-hearted attention. If you're not genuinely interested in spending time together, that's fine, but I'm not going to wait around." Notice the tone here. You're not angry, you're not bitter, and you're definitely not chasing. Instead, you're calmly setting boundaries and making it clear that you have standards. By doing this, you signal self-respect and show that you value your time and energy. You're not willing to settle for breadcrumbs when you deserve the full loaf. Women respect men who know their worth. And this approach not only protects your emotional well-being, but also makes you far more attractive. Recognizing these patterns, whether it's hot and cold behavior or breadcrumbing, is essential to maintaining control in any situation. Stay calm, stay composed, and make it clear that you're not playing games. Instead, you're setting the tone for how you expect to be treated, and that's a level of confidence no one can ignore. Number 3, set boundaries. Early. Establishing boundaries is about more than protecting yourself. It's about earning respect. Here's the hard truth. If you don't set boundaries early in a relationship, you're essentially telling her, it's okay to take advantage of you. Many men shy away from setting boundaries, fearing it might push women away. But here's the thing, women actually appreciate boundaries. Why? Because they show self-respect, and a man who respects himself naturally commands respect from others. So how do you set boundaries without appearing controlling or insecure? The key is to understand that boundaries are about your well-being. They're not about controlling her behavior, but about clearly communicating what you need to feel valued and respected in the relationship. Let's break this down with an example. Suppose she frequently cancels plans at the last minute, or leaves you in the dark with no explanation. You don't ignore it or let it slide. Instead, you address it calmly and directly. For instance, you might say, "Hey, I've noticed you've been canceling plans a lot lately. I really value consistency. If you're not interested in making this work, that's okay, but I'm not comfortable with this back and forth." Notice what's happening here. You're not attacking her, and you're not accusing her. You're simply stating your boundary in a calm and respectful way. This approach forces her to either step up and respect your boundary or move on. Either way, you win because you've safeguarded your emotional energy and self-respect. Now, let's look at a common scenario where boundaries are critical. Imagine you're dating a woman who enjoys flirting with other men in front of you. She might be doing it to test your reaction or spark jealousy. Most men either blow up in anger or silently simmer in frustration. But you handle it differently. Later, when emotions have settled, you calmly pull her aside and say something like, "Look, I'm not into games. If you're interested in seeing other people, that's fine, but I'm not going to stick around for that." Pay attention to what you're doing here. You're not reacting emotionally. You're not lashing out or creating drama. Instead, you're setting a boundary, clearly communicating your expectations and leaving the choice up to her. If she respects your boundary, great. If she doesn't, you walk away with your dignity intact. The magic of setting boundaries lies in how you communicate them. When you do it from a place of self-respect, you're not only protecting yourself, but also demonstrating confidence and emotional maturity. Women are drawn to men who can calmly express their needs and hold themselves to high standards. Boundaries are essential because they show that you're not willing to compromise your values or self-worth for anyone. They allow you to create relationships built on mutual respect rather than emotional games. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation that tests your limits, remember this. Calmly set your boundary, let her choose how to respond, and be prepared to walk away if your standards aren't met. That's real strength, and that's what makes you truly unshakable. Number 4. Master the art of staying calm under pressure. When it comes to navigating mind games, nothing is more effective than staying calm under pressure. Women often test men to see how they handle provocation. They might mention their ex, flirt with other guys, or throw in passive-aggressive comments, all designed to elicit an emotional reaction. Many men take the bait, but not you. You're going to handle these situations with the composure of a true Stoic. When she pushes your buttons, your response will be calm, composed, and unshaken. Why does this approach work? Because by refusing to react emotionally, you disarm her entirely. She expects you to blow up, get jealous, or argue. But when you remain composed, you send a powerful message. You can't control me. Let's consider a scenario. She casually mentions her ex in a conversation. "My ex used to take me to this amazing restaurant," or "I had so much fun with my ex last summer." The goal? To provoke jealousy or insecurity. Most men would respond with something like, "I don't want to hear about your ex," or "Why are you even bringing him up?" But you'll respond with a calm and confident, "That's great. Sounds like he treated you well." By not giving her the reaction she's fishing for, you become unpredictable. Instead of feeling in control, she'll start questioning why her comments didn't affect you, and that shift makes you stand out. Here's another example. Imagine she's flirting with another guy in front of you, perhaps during a group setting. Most men would either try to compete with the other guy, making a scene, or confront her later in anger. But you'll remain cool. Even if it stings a little, you won't engage in any competition or let your emotions dictate your actions. You observe calmly, letting her see that you're not threatened. If her behavior is an attempt to get your attention, your calmness will leave her wondering why you're not reacting, and that's when the power dynamic shifts back to you. The secret is simple. Never let your emotions take control of your actions. Staying calm under pressure shows her and everyone else that you're steady, composed, and unshaken. This level of self-control is not only rare, but also incredibly attractive. When you can demonstrate that you're not easily rattled, you project a sense of strength and confidence that others can't help but admire. By mastering this Stoic approach, you're not just navigating relationships more effectively, you're demonstrating a level of self-possession that commands respect and sets you apart. Number 5. Keep your eyes on long-term goals. One of the biggest traps men fall into in relationships is focusing too much on immediate gratification. They crave the instant validation of her affection, the excitement of her attention, or the quick resolution of a conflict. But Stoicism teaches us a different approach. Play the long game. When you shift your focus to long-term goals, you stop sweating the small day-to-day dramas of a relationship. Think of it this way. If you're building a thriving career, committing to your fitness, and pursuing personal growth, do you really have the bandwidth to get tangled in petty mind games? Of course not. Your priorities lie elsewhere, and that change in perspective does two powerful things. First, it makes you less emotionally reactive because you're no longer putting all your self-worth into whether a woman gives you attention. Second, it makes you far more attractive. Why? Because women are naturally drawn to men with purpose, men who are laser-focused on their mission in life. Let's say you've been dating someone for a few weeks, and things are going smoothly. Suddenly, she starts pulling back, texting less, making fewer plans, or acting distant. Most men would panic. They'd obsess over what went wrong, overthink every interaction, and try to fix things by chasing harder or making themselves too available. But a man focused on his long-term goals doesn't flinch. Why? Because he understands that his life isn't defined by a single person's attention or affection. He's busy building something bigger, whether that's his career, his fitness, or his personal development. If she wants to join him on that journey, fantastic. If not, it's her loss. He's not losing sleep over her distance because he knows his self-worth isn't tied to her validation. This focus on long-term goals naturally fosters emotional independence. You stop needing external validation because your sense of accomplishment comes from within, from the progress you're making, the goals you're achieving, and the growth you're experiencing. And here's the best part. When she notices that you're not chasing her or getting caught up in her games, she'll be even more intrigued. Why? Because you're different. You're not like the other guys waiting around for her text or over-analyzing her every move. You're the man who's too busy creating a life he's proud of to be bothered by short-term distractions. This level of independence and focus is magnetic. It shows strength, confidence, and a sense of purpose, which are qualities women can't help but admire. In the end, focusing on your long-term goals isn't just about staying grounded. It's about living with intention. You're building a life that's meaningful to you, and when you do that, the right people, women included, will naturally be drawn to your energy. You're no longer playing games because you're playing for something much bigger, the fulfillment of your own potential. And that, my friend, is the ultimate win. Number 6, rise above emotional retaliation. One of the most common missteps men make when dealing with a woman's mind games is falling into the trap of emotional retaliation. She does something to make you jealous or to provoke you, and your immediate instinct is to even the score. Maybe she flirts with another guy, so you start flirting with another woman to make her jealous. Or perhaps she throws a snarky comment your way, and you counter by playing hard to get, hoping she'll chase after you. Let me be very clear. This approach is a losing game. Why? Because the moment you retaliate emotionally, you've already given up control. You're reacting to her, and that means she's the one pulling the strings. She's dictating your behavior, and that places her firmly in the driver's seat. A Stoic man understands this and refuses to retaliate emotionally because he knows it's a sign of weakness. Instead of reacting, he responds with calm, collected indifference. Let's break it down. If she ghosts you, a Stoic man doesn't panic, doesn't chase, and certainly doesn't play games in return. He simply withdraws his attention and refocuses on himself. If she tries to make him jealous by flirting with another guy, he doesn't bite. He stays composed and continues living his life with purpose and confidence. Imagine this scenario. You're at a party with a woman you've been dating, and she starts openly flirting with another guy. Most men would either get upset and confront her, or try to flirt with another woman to make her jealous. Both of these reactions come from a place of insecurity and emotional dependence. But you're going to do something different. You stay calm. You don't engage. You don't show any sign of anger, jealousy, or frustration. Instead, you carry on as if her actions don't bother you in the slightest. You've just done something incredibly powerful. You've shown her that her attempts to provoke you have no effect. Why does this work? Because it sends a clear and undeniable message. You don't have control over me. This is a game changer. When you refuse to retaliate emotionally, you maintain control of yourself and the situation. She'll quickly realize that her efforts to manipulate you are futile, and the power dynamic shifts in your favor. Here's the beauty of this approach. When you don't react, the game loses all its power. She'll either stop playing it altogether or come to the conclusion that you're not someone who can be easily controlled. Either way, you've won. Refusing to retaliate doesn't mean you're passive or indifferent to disrespect. It means you're choosing to rise above petty games and focus on what truly matters: your composure, your confidence, and your self-respect. This isn't about being unfeeling, it's about being unshakable. And that, my friend, is the hallmark of a Stoic man. Number 7, communicate with clarity and confidence. Effective communication is the bedrock of any strong relationship, yet it's something many people struggle to master. They either shy away from difficult conversations entirely or approach them with too much emotion, which often leads to unnecessary arguments, misunderstandings, and heightened drama. A Stoic man approaches communication differently. He speaks clearly, firmly, and with composure, ensuring his message is understood without letting emotions take control. Here's the secret. When dealing with a woman who's playing games, express your needs and boundaries calmly and directly. There's no need for shouting, accusing, or creating unnecessary conflict. Instead, state your perspective with poise and let it stand on its own. Imagine she's been distant or inconsistent lately, and it's starting to affect you. Many men might either suppress their feelings to avoid confrontation or lash out in frustration. Neither approach is productive. A Stoic man, however, addresses the situation head-on, without drama or desperation. He might say something like, "I've noticed you've been acting a bit differently lately. I'm not sure what's going on, but if there's something we should talk about, I'm here to listen." Notice the tone of this statement. It's calm, non-confrontational, and open. You're not accusing her of anything. You're not raising your voice, and you're not pressuring her for answers. Instead, you're making an observation and creating space for her to explain. Why does this approach work? Because it disarms her. By coming from a place of calm confidence rather than neediness or frustration, you make it easier for her to open up without feeling defensive or attacked. This not only increases the chances of resolving the issue, but also shows her that you're a mature, emotionally grounded person. When you communicate with clarity and firmness, you set a standard for how the relationship should operate. You demonstrate that you're not afraid to tackle tough topics and won't let issues linger unresolved. This approach fosters respect and honesty in the relationship, eliminating room for manipulation or games. By showing that you value straightforward communication, you create a dynamic where both partners feel safe to express themselves openly. It's a sign of emotional maturity and strength, qualities that naturally command respect and make you stand out. Ultimately, clear and confident communication isn't just about addressing issues. It's about shaping the kind of relationship you want to have. It builds a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual understanding, paving the way for a partnership free from unnecessary drama. And that, at its core, is the essence of a Stoic approach to relationships. Number 8, make your well-being the top priority. At the core of it all, the most important relationship you'll ever have isn't with her or anyone else. It's the one you have with yourself. This is a fundamental truth that so many men overlook, especially when they find themselves entangled in emotional games or manipulative behavior. If you constantly feel stressed, anxious, or like you're walking on eggshells, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. No one, no matter how much you care for them, is worth sacrificing your peace of mind, your self-respect, or your overall well-being. Let's be clear, prioritizing yourself doesn't mean becoming selfish or disregarding others entirely. It's about finding balance. When you put your well-being first, you become stronger, more centered, and ultimately more attractive. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, who value themselves, and who don't allow anyone to disrupt their inner stability. This isn't just about romantic relationships. This mindset applies to every aspect of your life, whether it's your career, friendships, or family dynamics. Imagine you're dating someone who constantly sends mixed signals. One day, she's showering you with affection, and the next, she's cold and distant. You find yourself questioning everything. Did I do something wrong? Should I adjust my behavior to fit her mood? Stop right there. Ask yourself a critical question. How is this affecting my mental health? If the answer is negative, it's time to take action. Pull back, withdraw your energy, and refocus on the things that genuinely bring you peace and joy. Whether it's working out, diving into a passion project, or spending time with people who truly value and support you, you owe it to yourself to protect your mental and emotional health. Here's the undeniable truth. When you stop prioritizing someone else's erratic behavior and start focusing on your own well-being, two things will happen. First, she may recognize your value and begin respecting you more. Or second, she'll leave because she can no longer control or manipulate you. Either outcome is a win for you. In one scenario, you've set a foundation for mutual respect, and in the other, you've removed someone who didn't have your best interests at heart. Society often pressures men to cater to others' emotions and needs, sometimes at the expense of their own happiness and stability. This mindset is not only harmful, it's completely unsustainable. Putting your mental, emotional, and physical health first isn't just a smart move. It's essential for thriving in the modern world. When you demonstrate that your peace is non-negotiable, people will naturally respect you more. And here's the kicker. Prioritizing yourself doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you more desirable. Confidence and self-respect are magnetic qualities that can't be faked. The next time you feel your inner calm being threatened by someone else's inconsistent behavior, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this worth compromising my well-being? If the answer is no, then it's time to recalibrate and focus on what truly matters, you. Because when you take care of yourself first, everything else will fall into place. Number 9, embrace the power of patience. Here's a truth that many men struggle to accept. Patience is one of the most powerful tools you have when navigating relationships, especially when dealing with women who test your emotions. I understand. It's natural to want clarity, answers, and results immediately. You want to know where you stand right now. But here's the catch. Women often test your patience to see how well you handle uncertainty. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, where everyone expects a reply within seconds, the man who remains calm and practices patience becomes a rare and valuable presence. He stands out. He commands attention. He doesn't crack under pressure. When she takes out reply to your text, you don't panic. When she cancels plans at the last minute, you don't lose your temper. You let things unfold naturally while staying calm and composed. The reality is, women will test your patience. It's inevitable. They may go silent for a day or two, take forever to respond to messages, or create situations that tempt you to overreact. Most men fall into the trap. They start double texting, asking if something's wrong or trying desperately to fix the situation. But not you. You're different. You've mastered the art of patience. The next time she pulls one of these moves, resist the urge to react emotionally. Instead, do nothing. That's right, nothing. Let her take the time and space she needs to reach out when she's ready. By not chasing her, you subtly shift the dynamic. She'll begin to wonder why you're not reacting, why you're not chasing after her, and in that moment, the power tilts in your favor. Why is patience such a game changer? Because it shows her that you're not desperate for her validation. It demonstrates that you're emotionally secure, confident, and in control of your own life. You're not going to drop everything just because she decided to test you. This makes you a challenge, a man who values himself and his time. And let's be honest, women are naturally drawn to a man who presents a challenge. But patience isn't just about waiting for her to respond to a text or commit to plans. It's about delaying gratification in all areas of your life. Practicing patience means stepping away from things that don't serve your long-term goals. It means resisting the temptation to react to every minor inconvenience or emotional test. It allows you to rise above the chaos that so many men fall victim to. A Stoic man understands that the best things in life take time. He doesn't rush. He doesn't seek instant validation. He's playing the long game, and the long game always wins. While others are scrambling for immediate attention or quick fixes, you're focused, composed, and grounded. You're pursuing your goals, living your life, and letting things unfold as they will. Patience isn't about sitting back forever. It's about waiting for the right moment to act. Whether it's in your relationship, your career, or your personal development, patience gives you the clarity to make deliberate, strategic moves that lead to lasting success. It's not about seeking instant gratification, but about building a life of sustained fulfillment. So, the next time you're tempted to overreact, take a breath. Remind yourself that patience isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's a reminder that you're in control, not the circumstances around you. By practicing patience, you not only become more attractive to others, but also take a giant step toward mastering your own life. That's the kind of man who wins in the end. Number 10. Know when to walk away. This is where the stakes get real. There's a saying that perfectly captures this idea. The most powerful position is being able to walk away and truly mean it. If you take away one thing from this, let it be this. Knowing when to walk away is your ultimate power move. It's your ace in the hole, the trump card that most men are too hesitant to play. But when you do, you immediately shift the dynamic in your favor. Let's get something straight. Not every woman deserves your time or energy. If she's playing games, stringing you along, disregarding your time, or treating you like an afterthought, you must be ready to walk away. Not in anger, not in a dramatic fashion, but with calm and quiet confidence. Walking away isn't about punishing her, it's about respecting yourself. It's about showing her and yourself that your self-worth isn't tied to her approval. Here's the thing, when you choose to walk away, you send a powerful message. You're telling her that you don't need her validation to feel good about yourself. You're demonstrating that you have options, that your dignity and peace of mind come before any relationship. And here's the kicker. More often than not, when you walk away, she'll notice, and she'll chase you. Why? Because walking away is the ultimate expression of self-respect, and women are naturally drawn to men who respect themselves. But let's be clear. Walking away isn't some trick to manipulate her into coming back. It's not a ploy, it's a declaration. You're saying, I know my value, and I refuse to settle for anything less than mutual respect and genuine effort. If she wants to be in your life, great. But if not, you're perfectly fine without her. Here's how this plays out in practice. If she's constantly flaking on plans, entertaining other guys, or disrespecting you in any way, you don't lash out or beg for her attention. Instead, you calmly say, look, I'm not interested in this back and forth. If you're serious about us, let me know. If not, I'm moving on. No anger, no frustration, no pleading, just a simple firm boundary delivered with confidence. And then you follow through. You walk away. You don't send follow-up texts asking how she feels. You don't check her social media stories to see what she's doing. You don't dwell on what might have been. You refocus all that energy on yourself, your goals, your passions, and your own well-being. Here's the hard truth. Sometimes walking away means walking away for good. There will be times when she doesn't chase you, when she doesn't reach out, and you know what? That's okay. Because by walking away, you've already won. You've protected your dignity, your self-respect, and your inner peace. And those are far more valuable than any fleeting relationship. Why is walking away so powerful? Because most men are afraid to do it. They're afraid of losing her. They're afraid of being alone. But when you walk away, you're declaring, I'm not afraid. I know my worth and I refuse to settle for less. That level of confidence is rare and it's magnetic. The beauty of walking away is that it liberates you from the emotional games. It puts you back in control of your own happiness and self-worth. No longer are you waiting for someone else to validate your value. You're reclaiming your power, and in doing so, you're setting yourself free. Remember this, walking away isn't about her, it's about you. It's about choosing peace over chaos, self-respect over desperation, and clarity over confusion. And that, my friend, is what true strength looks like. Here it is, 10 transformative, practical, and empowering strategies to handle any woman playing games with your heart. But let's be clear, these aren't just rules for navigating relationships, they're principles for navigating life. By practicing emotional detachment, setting clear boundaries, staying composed under pressure, prioritizing your own well-being, embracing patience and knowing when to walk away, you transform into someone unshakable. This isn't about manipulation or trying to outsmart anyone. It's about mastering yourself. It's about becoming a man who owns his emotions, his time, and his decisions. When you embody that level of self-control and confidence, you naturally attract people who respect you, who value your presence, and who don't play games. But remember, this is just the beginning. These strategies are the foundation for becoming the best version of yourself. But the journey doesn't end here. Growth is continuous. Keep learning, keep evolving, and apply these principles to every aspect of your life, not just your relationships. If this content has resonated with you and provided value, consider supporting the channel. Subscribing or joining our memberships allows us to continue sharing content that empowers men like you and spreads these life-changing ideas to others who need them. Together, let's build a community of men who refuse to be manipulated, who take back their power, and who lead lives of purpose and self-respect.